Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, Lerato. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Welcome back to Slero TV.
It's good to be back.
Of our conversation.
Good to be back.
Emma. So, yes, so we are basically back to continue our conversation from where we left. I know when we were ending the conversation the last time, Tshepo, you were like, is this where we're ending? You know,
it ended so quickly.
Yeah,
it ended so quickly.
Time goes by so fast, yet there's so much to discuss. Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so today we're just gonna, like I said, we're continuing the conversation from last about what to do as creatives to self-sustain yourself, especially now, especially during dry periods, during COVID, you know, particularly this time, but also just in preparation for other dry periods. You know, dry periods meaning no business. At the time where there is no business, is not the busiest time for creatives in different respective creative industry that you're in. Like, it is also different. You know, some are busy at a different time than others. You know, but otherwise we are covering all of them, so that they also can plan for those times, right? All right. So first, how's it been going since post lockdown? What's happening? What's been going on, Tshepo?
I'm back. We started back slowly going back last week Wednesday, and then this really interesting. I'm gonna call it an interesting holiday came in between. The Ascension Day always comes from the left. You're always forgetting it. So we're ready to go back on Wednesday, and then Thursday's a holiday, and you're like, but we've been in the house for 2 months.
Yeah.
Why are we going back? So yesterday really was proper first day. We're back, and that's really what the focus is on at the moment, is just trying to get back on track. And you're saying to clients, hey, we're here, we're back, let's continue where we left off. So that's and really post COVID is what, it's 2 days, 3 days old.
Yeah.
So 5 days. So everybody, I think, is kind of easing back into it.
That's true. And you, to me, how's it been going?
Same with me. It's been a bit slow because of the Thursday holiday and then Friday, then the weekend. So it hasn't really felt like I'm back. But I think maybe towards tomorrow, the day after, then I'll think I'll have like a routine per se to say, okay, now that we're back, now I'm back to my normal working at home hours, because I haven't been having normal working at home hours. So I can't wait to get back to having like a set schedule now and say, okay, this is what I can do during this time and this is what I can't do. And I think just going back to having normal weekends, like I'm so tired of every day feeling like a Friday or a Saturday. So I'm excited about having some sort of normalcy.
Yeah. Now, I get you. So, Tshepo, since you're back to work, are you practicing social distancing at your work? How are you guys handling it as well? Are you doing the social distancing?
There are very few of us. I mean, yesterday there were 3 of us. We're doing plenary at the moment. Just saying, okay, how do we get back? What needs to happen first? Who needs to do this? So, but because we're in a building, I find it interesting. I'm very observant around what people are doing around me and how they're practicing social distancing. But I think, you know what, guys, we have to give it to Botswana. They really, really embraced the protocols. They really embraced what is meant to happen. I mean, every Motswana is literally wearing some kind of mouthpiece covering their face. You're just like somebody and you're just like, hey, yo, but and that's very few. That's very few people. And the queues are also quite frustrating. I saw a lot of people on social media talking about how frustrated they are around, queuing. But for the most part, a lot of us they really embraced the protocols and what needs to happen to survive, Because I'm saying to people, it's a survival thing. It's self-preservation thing. So it's not up to Lorato, it's not up to Tumie, it's not up to any government to help you survive this. It's really up to you.
Yeah.
And I think you get that slowly.
Yeah, I mean, it's your health after all. It's your life, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So and I think the 2 months in the house made us realize just how serious this thing is. So if you're now outside and you're working, now you're cognizant of the fact that if this thing gets worse, we're going back to the 2 months in the house. So
that's frustrating time.
Responsibility, exactly. If the little responsibility of me taking care of myself is what it's going to take for us to somewhat go back to normal, then I have no reason not to wear a mask or observe the social distancing or do what I'm supposed to do.
I think especially for us, Botswana, because we're not like what Tshepo was saying, somebody breathing down your neck. This is actually normal for us. We don't know. We have no idea on how to keep the distance between the next person. It's something that we've never known how to do. So I can imagine how challenging it must be for a normal Motswana, you know, but at least we're embracing it and we're trying. We have to try, you know, if anything. So guys, so today I just want us to basically now discuss all right, I don't want to say post-COVID because it's not post-COVID per se, because it's still there. It's basically post-lockdown, right? Some businesses are opening up, just, you know, businesses coming back, and for some nothing. You know, I'm sure we're still not going to have festivals for a long time. So those are the things that, you know, what kind of advice are we going to give the kind of creatives that not necessarily businesses back right now? You know, what can we do? And then it boils down to, should maybe then one as a creative possibly have a backup plan in terms of having a job just in case of dry seasons like this? What do you guys think? To me?
Okay, that's a very layered question. Let me try and remember everything and answer. I think it depends on what it is that you do. Like you said, like there's certain things that aren't going to be back to normal, like events, you know, anything that has to do with a crowd. But there's certain things that can still come back and sort of operate the best way that they can. So I think it just depends on what it is that your business does. And I always, you know, encourage people to diversify, especially for times like this. Like, you can't always be guaranteed that somebody's going to be booking you to go MC or coming to your event. So it's always better if you have other things that are sort of like a money stream. And then in terms of a backup plan, I don't want to lie, I struggle with that because I think a lot of people assume that, okay, I'll take me for example. A lot of people assume that because I'm a creative who's qualified to do something else, this is now the perfect time for me to be knocking on doors and getting a job. But I think people need to be privy to the fact that not everybody's going to be hiring. Like, in as much as I'm going through a dry spell as a creative, chances are whatever company that I thought would hire me as my backup plan is probably either fighting with how to pay the current existing staff, or that's if they're even open. So the chances of them automatically saying, hey, let's hire Lerato and Tumie because, you know, they need a job now is very, very low. So I think for me, what I've decided is that I'm going to continue creating content the way I've been doing. It's not going to be the same in terms of like the engagement, the collaborations, but it's slowly coming back. Like yesterday, I went through a lot of emails and it made me realize that, hey, actually, I think life is now starting to normalize because for me, that's always the first step. When I have admin work, whether it's you inquiring about what I do or asking how we can work together or asking to set a meeting, I think what people shouldn't do, in my opinion, especially during maybe the next 2-3 weeks, is rush to making decisions or trying to say we're back, and because we're back,
try and come back to life.
Like it takes time, just like it took time for us to realize that, listen, we're not going to be working that much during lockdown, but rather let me use it as a time to work on my admin or work on myself. I think people should treat post-lockdown the same way, like take it a day at a time, because it's not like today everybody's going to be calling you up and saying, Lorato, we need your services. Yeah,
Because everybody's still
we
trying
need
to get back. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good advice, actually. So basically, don't panic. Don't think everything will come back to normal immediately. This is what you're advising, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Tshepo, what's your advice on this?
I think for me, whatever creative space you're in, whether, especially if you're an artist, if you are an influencer, if you are a writer or one of these things, I think this is the best time to make international connections, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing I've realized is for you to expand a little bit is for you to kind of make networks outside of where you are. And it doesn't matter or South Africa or whatever. So my advice really right now is to read the room. And what the room is saying is, one, we won't go back to the old normal. We are literally living in the new normal. And what that means is that you are not always going to be in certain spaces like you used to be. So rather, look at how you can now pivot. In the beginning, I posted a lot around pivoting as a creative and pivoting as a business.
Yeah.
So what does pivoting mean? Pivoting means, how are you taking your talent and really offering a different kind of service, but still maintaining the core of who you are, right? And sometimes pivoting doesn't necessarily mean it will be for this country. So my advice for you is start connecting with, trying to get management, international representation. What you should have been doing during lockdown was putting your portfolio together, putting your music together. If you were recording, Mposibina literally released an album during lockdown, guys, and visuals. You know what I mean? So those kinds of things. And it's now time to exactly, and it's really now time to say, okay, I will look at how things are going here, but really now this is next level. For me, it should be next level for everyone. For everyone. You are not going to go back as a Tshepo, or you're not going to go back as a Tumie and go back to what you used to be doing. That now should constitute 25% or 30% or maybe even 50%. But then the other 50% is about next level. And next level is really around DMing, management agencies, emailing, like Tumie was saying. Now the emails now need to start working. You know what I mean? And another thing for me is, yes, we are all struggling. Whether you're corporate, so the money part of it is not your biggest concern. It is reality.
It shouldn't be,
It shouldn't be the first. Okay, I'm gonna get in contact with Lerato, hoping that we can do. No, it should really be around nurturing, building, and managing those relationships, so that when it comes back, you are ready and you're prepared, and you are top of mind for somebody like Tshepo, who hires artists or who hires management. There are other brands and there are other companies that have moved. I know for a fact that have moved budgets around and are now, the power of where we're going in terms of marketing is actually quite exciting. And I said this the last time. Be top of mind. I think now your creative juices need to now go beyond where they were. And the opportunities are plenty. The money is not going to come immediately. But I think now is about strategy, alignment, and really knocking on those doors that are helping you lay the foundation for you to pivot as a business.
Yeah. I mean, you're making such great points there, and also possibly as well, like you're saying, just be creative on the way that how you're going to do things differently, and most of the time, most clients, I'll tell you, most clients don't want you to come to them and wait for them to give you a job. Go to them, give them a solution. Or give them, give them an idea of how you can start doing or working together differently post this, because you should go to learn now. You should also be conscious of what the budget has shifted, or the budgets are tighter, so even when they contact you or you contact them, say, guys, I'm very conscious, the budget did change, and budgets are changing and things have just shifted. So therefore, I have this idea for you, and I'm thinking, let's do it this way. But this time, let's not make it cost this much because of the way that, because our previous contract, this is how it used to work, and would have this, would have that, and would have, let's do it this way. And come up with a solution for them. And also that works for them. You see, conscious, their budgets are definitely tighter as well, whoever your client is, and I feel like I would also, as a client, be very appreciative of the fact that you are conscious that budgets will change, and then they can tell you, yeah, we did shift it a bit. This is and feel free to ask them, how have your entertainment budget shifted? How does it look now? Has it remained the same or has it changed? And then you can see if you can work around that and be creative and tell them, well, no, guys, because we used to work like this, let's maybe try work this way, so that we continue the way, we continue serving whatever you are serving together as that client, and the job gets done, but at a cheaper rate that they can afford it. You are getting your income, the job is getting done,
right.
Yeah. And then relationships are, I feel like that's what you're basically saying in a way. Let's be creative in finding ways to make these relationships work going forward, right?
I think Lerato, one of the things that, and I think I may have mentioned it the last time, is that we are not in the business of making money, and anyone, but most importantly, creatives depend on relationships. So your business is not entirely to make money. That's a small bit of it. Your job and what you are in the business of is nurturing relationships. And I'll tell you how. If you come to me as Sueru Pty Ltd, we meet for the first time, we don't know each other, you ask me to do a campaign or whatever, short term or however long, right? My relationship is not necessarily with the brand, although from expressing and working on the brand, that is exactly it. I need to be able to nurture yours and mine relationship, because you're going to move from Suero and you're going to go to the next company, and you know what I mean? But also it almost guarantees me work. Halo rato a tswa mo Suweru a ya ko company rate, because
the relationship.
Yes, we itse ka ha ke berekang ka teng. Ha a tswa ko company rate a ya ko company green, I'm almost guaranteed a job or some work. So I always tell creatives, guys, do not be in the business of burning bridges, because literally. For me, one of the examples I always give is one of my international clients that I met almost 15 years ago. And because I built relationships with the people, I'm still doing work 15 years later with that company. You know what I mean? It's on and off. Who's in Botswana? One of the girls has actually moved to another company, and we've worked together in that regard outside of the initial company that I worked with. So as a creative, remember, your future lies in the relationships, the professional relationships that you have. That is going to be the bricks that you lay towards getting as high as you want. So in this time, you are, one, using past relationships, two, forging new relationships going forward.
No, this is a really, really good point, actually, particularly on the relationship management and work ethic. Now, another thing that I also wanted to actually ask to touch on is particularly the work ethic of creatives. That are we, as creatives, are you guys have a struggle with work ethic in the sense that you take yourself seriously so that the client takes you seriously as well. How important is that?
That's for me, that's the business, hey? You can't, because I always say to people, when you when you're intentional and you're consistent, sometimes it comes and actually beats talent, because what you're then able to do is build on those two elements and then grow bigger from just those two, consistency and intention, regardless of the fact that, you know, Lorato is probably more talented or Lorato has more resources. But when, like, it's so cliche, but when you push yourself, it works out. And I think it's especially important for creatives because, I mean, we all know the stigma that for the longest time creatives had, what they don't really work. So being a creative is sort of like a plan B to life. But I think over the years, people have realized that actually this is a business. Actually, there is work here. So the last thing that you should be doing as a creative is saying, because I work from home and I have a Zoom meeting scheduled for 8, I'm sure I can show up at 8:30. You can't do that. Like, you just can't. It's the same way that you expect people to respect your invoice when you send it, or your profile or your proposal. You also need to give out the same energy for it to come back to you. And for me, I've noticed that it's something so small, but sometimes it works as a, I don't want to say a filter element, but I think when it comes to making decisions, whether we're giving Lorato or Tshepo or Tumie work, it really plays a part, because at the end of the day, like Tshepo said, it's about relationships. You find that brands are managed by people at the end of the day. Campaigns are managed by people. Clients, her client that she has for the past 15 years is a human being who appreciates the fact that, you know, whenever she needs work done, he or she needs work done in Botswana, and Pabaz's Tshepo is consistent. Tshepo is going to come through. That says to you that at the end of the day, this is a relationship. This is somebody who also gets annoyed or gets impressed. So the last thing that you should be doing is taking that for granted and feeling like, but you know, I'm good at what I do. Surely I can show up 3 hours late. That's not how life works out. It doesn't work out like that. So I think it's important not only for yourself, for how people take you seriously, and just the reflection, because I feel like it also sets industry standards. And this is something so important for me, because I went through a time where I felt like, no man, why should it happen this way? And then okay, but for me it's working out. Maybe I shouldn't worry if Lorata doesn't agree with me, or Lorata agrees to doing something that obviously doesn't make sense for the industry. And now I'm at a point where I'm a little older and I've been in this for a couple of years now, and I feel like actually what you do as Lorato or as Tshepo or yes, you know, works for Suero LT, you know, P2 LTD. But what you need to understand is it sets industry standards. If somebody somewhere approaches Lorato and Lorato says, no, none of me for my meetings, I come 3 hours late, or you can even pay me 2 weeks late, I'll give you a report, you know, 4 weeks later. You sort of set industry standards that Kamoso, when Tshepo wants to pitch, she's sort of put in that same box, and it's like, no man, but this is not how I operate as Tshepo. So I think it's important not only for yourself, but for the good of the industry that we're trying to grow, to set certain standards that, you know, we can be accountable to and say, but this is not how the industry operates.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, I sorry, I was frowning, and I'm just like, I looked at the time in terms of what we were left with. I'm like, already?
Yeah.
I love talking, but absolutely. I think work ethic. I think the other thing is we have to be cognizant of the fact that as creatives, we are driven by our egos. That has to be put out clearly. You know, we're driven by our egos. We're good at what we do because I think I am the best. You know what I mean? That's what brings out the good work. But as a creative, also we have to learn how to balance the ego with humility and with people management. And we learn the people management side, you know, after a little while, you know, but it's something that's very, very important that we have to learn. With regards to work ethic, oh my goodness, that is one of the biggest. That is one of the big, and I always say we are not unique. It's just as creatives, it's who we are. We are ego maniacs. Absolutely. I mean, what Tumie said essentially, and understand that when you ruin it for yourself, you're ruining it for other people.
Yeah, for everybody else. Yeah.
Everybody else. And I mean, I just recently I've been hearing stories around artists getting work and not pitching at all, not coming to see me. You know, for me, my biggest thing, and I did mention the fact that we are teachers. You know, that's what I said the last time as we were saying goodbye. We teach, we have to teach. And in teaching, it means you have to make, impress to the core, you know, be on time, put yourself together properly. You know, after the work is done, give the client, before they even ask for it, give the client a closing report. You know what I mean? This is the ROI that I managed to get for you. This is what happened, and this is why we need to engage more. I get it. Because sometimes Ghana, sometimes companies are doing it just to tick that box. So your job is to ensure that it's not only a ticking the box, it's a wow, okay, this actually works, you know. And they will only know that if you engage
them, like you're saying, give them, show them,
it's a big thing, and I just, yes. It's an important thing. It's a big thing. It's one of the things that for us in Botswana specifically has made our industry not move, because I mean, I had to. There was in December, there were these kids are talented, you guys, and I said, and they came. The first event that I'm MC, they happened to be performing there, and the instrument guys came drunk, smelling of alcohol. And then the second event, you know, that they came and I actually went to the manager and I said, if it's you who's not teaching these kids what's supposed to happen, because this is the second, I can listen, but this is the second event that event thing, and you know, you're doing weird things, you know? And I really, and for me, I feel like I have a responsibility as somebody who's been in the industry that long. The reaction could have gone either way, but I mean, he was humble enough to listen at least. And I'm hoping he's changed, because I only as a manager.
The brand, and what it does to your brand as well. Are they gonna be calling you back with that kind of experience as well? You know, it's a lot of things, because Ghana not necessarily is the client going to call you back. It's also the people that are watching you. You know, they're watching you, and they're also noticing these are the ones that take themselves seriously. So you'll see that even potential clients are actually also watching you. You see what I mean? So this is you know, this is a conversation that I feel that, you know, unfortunately we don't have much time, that I feel we should definitely continue on and actually dissect, you know, on somebody just like that we should definitely
just as we're getting into it.
Just as we're getting into it. But you know, and I also want to stress the part of guys, invoicing. When you invoice clients as well, that's another thing that I have also had a lot of questions from creatives. You know, we'll be invoicing and we're told your invoice doesn't make sense. You know, are you actually breaking down your invoices and show the client that this is what I am charging for? It's 100,000 and you're not even breaking down for what is the 100,000 entailing. You know what I mean? I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. They need to understand what 100,000 is for, you know. So another thing that I wanted us to also just touch on, because I know that's another challenge. Another one is the emails. You know, it's the emails. What emails are we using particularly for what emails are we using for our clients? You know, are we using at Gmail? Because corporate really takes those things really seriously. Or you need to change your brand from Gmail to your business. You know, we really look at.
But also it's just the body of the email. You know, you are writing the email like I'm texting my 7-year-old little brother. You know what I mean?
That as well. The way that we are you're making such good points. Besides the brand that you are putting yourself on, these are the things that I know challenges a lot of creatives, even some people who are actually opening businesses as well. you know, because with me that I gotta help with setups as well, because I'm coming in with internal controls and everything. Always constantly reminding my clients, fix your emails so that you are taken seriously. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have
So
much
this is
time.
our series.
We will
So this is
continue
our
this
series.
conversation just when we're getting into it. All right, ladies, it's been so good. Thank you so much for this conversation. We will definitely have it again. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Okay, then. Bye.
Bye.